Hey, James. So scaling your affiliate business big. I mean, that's the dream, right? Everyone wants to go big. But I feel like a lot of people just think, oh, I just need more traffic, and that's it. But it's got to be more nuanced than that, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, Emma. Absolutely. It's one of those terms that gets thrown around a lot, isn't it? Scaling. But you're right. It's not just about pumping more money into ads or just magically getting more eyeballs. That's just increasing volume, not necessarily scaling efficiently. See, true scaling, it's about growing your revenue and your impact without a proportional increase in your time, effort, or cost. Do you know what I mean? It's working smarter, not just harder, really. It's about building systems.
Okay, so like exponential growth versus linear growth, or like trying to get to that sweet spot where you're making more money with less direct day-to-day input from yourself. Because that sounds like the actual goal for most affiliates, right?
Precisely. That's the holy grail, isn't it? And I think that's where a lot of people, they stumble. They get to a certain point, they're making decent money, but they hit a ceiling because they haven't actually built a scalable model. They've just built, a very busy, very demanding job for themselves, which isn't quite the same thing at all.
So if it's not just more traffic, what's the real starting point? Like, before you even think about scaling, what do you absolutely need to have nailed down, James? What are those unshakable foundations you're talking about?
Right, brilliant question. First point, tracking. I mean, sounds boring, I know, but you cannot scale what you cannot measure. You need robust, accurate tracking, not just on clicks, but on conversions, on revenue per click, on customer lifetime value, if you can get it. Understanding precisely where your profits are coming from and where they're leaking is absolutely paramount. Second point, you need a proven offer. Don't try to scale something that's only vaguely converting. You need an offer or a set of offers that you know resonate with your audience and consistently generate profit, even on a small scale. And third, you must have a deep understanding of your audience. Who are they? What are their pain points? Where do they hang out online? If you're guessing, you're just gambling, aren't you? And you can't scale gambling efficiently, only exponentially lose money.
Uh-huh. So it's almost like optimize your current setup to perfection before you even think about pouring fuel on the fire, because otherwise you're just, making the mistakes bigger. What about the actual offers themselves? Like, how do you know if an offer is proven enough to scale?
Well, you're looking for consistency, aren't you? If you're consistently seeing, say, a 1 to 2% conversion rate or higher, and your earnings per click are positive consistently across a reasonable sample size, not just, a lucky 10 sales, then you've probably got something. And it also helps if the offer has good back-end value, meaning recurring commissions or high commission per sale. So you've got wiggle room on your ad spend or time investment.
Okay, so once you've got those foundations, super solid, then it's about traffic, right? But again, not just more traffic. What kind of traffic strategies are we talking about when we say scaling, James? Because I see so many affiliates put all their eggs in one basket, like exclusively Facebook ads, and then their account gets shut down and boom, it's all over.
Exactly. That's a huge, huge mistake. Diversification is key, Emma, key. My first point on traffic scaling is to expand your channels. If you're only doing, say, paid social, look at Google Ads, look at native advertising, try SEO, organic content marketing, or even email marketing. Building an email list, that's like owning your own traffic source, isn't it? It's invaluable. My second point is to not just focus on direct conversions, but on building assets that generate traffic over time. Think about creating evergreen content, blog posts, YouTube videos that rank and bring in consistent free traffic long after you've created them. And third, look for arbitrage opportunities. Can you buy traffic cheaply somewhere and convert it profitably somewhere else? It's like finding those hidden gems where your competition isn't yet.
Wow, arbitrage opportunities. That sounds intense. But I totally get the asset building part. Like investing in SEO for your review site instead of just, throwing money at ads for a short-term campaign. It's a longer play, but it pays off massively over time, right? But how do you manage all these different traffic sources without getting totally overwhelmed? Because that's a lot to juggle, honestly.
That's where the next stage comes in, actually. You absolutely need to start thinking about systematization and automation. It's not about doing everything yourself. It's about building processes and using tools that do the heavy lifting for you across those different channels. But yes, the key is not to just do more of the same with traffic. It's to strategically add new, diversified, and sustainable sources.
Okay, so you mentioned systematization and automation. That sounds like the secret sauce to actually making this scaling thing work without working yourself into the ground. What does that look like for an affiliate business? Because, a lot of affiliates start out solo, doing everything themselves.
Exactly. And that's fine when you're starting, but it's not sustainable for scaling. First off, automation. Look for tasks that are repetitive and time-consuming. Can your email sequences be automated? Can social media posts be scheduled? Are there tools that can help with keyword research or competitor analysis automatically? Think about, Zapier integrations, email autoresponders, content scheduling platforms. Even your tracking, to some extent, can be automated to pull data into dashboards. My second point is about building a team. And I don't mean you need to hire like a full-time staff from day one. Start with outsourcing specific tasks. A virtual assistant for administrative stuff, a freelance writer for content, an ad manager for your paid campaigns. Free up your time to focus on the high-leverage activities, like strategic planning and finding new opportunities. Working on the business, not just in it. It's a mindset shift, really.
Working on the business, not in it. That's a great distinction. So you're saying, even if it's just delegating one article a week to a writer, that's already a step towards scaling your output without necessarily scaling your personal effort? When's the right time to start thinking about hiring, even freelance help? Is there a specific revenue threshold or?
I'd say when you feel yourself consistently bogged down by tasks that aren't directly generating revenue or aren't your absolute best use of time. If you're spending 3 hours a day formatting blog posts when you could be researching a new profitable niche, that's your sign. It's more about opportunity cost than a strict revenue number. Invest when that investment frees you up to do something more valuable.
That makes so much sense. So we've got foundations, diversified traffic, automation, and outsourcing. What's next for someone who's, really hitting their stride and wants to think even bigger, beyond just scaling their current profitable niche? What's the long-term vision look like?
Right, the long-term vision. This is where you really start building a business, Emma, not just a bigger side hustle. First, diversification beyond your primary niche. Once you've successfully scaled one profitable niche, can you replicate that process in a related market? Leverage your expertise, your systems, even your existing audience if there's overlap. My second point, developing your own products or services. As an affiliate, you're always relying on someone else's offer. Building your own info product, a course, a software tool, even a lead gen service allows you to capture more of the value chain. You control the offer, the branding, the customer data, everything. It dramatically increases your profit margins and gives you more security. And third, really, is building assets that appreciate. Think about building out entire authority websites that can be sold for multiples of their annual profit, or creating an incredibly engaged email list that's a true asset. It's about building equity, really.
Wow. So going from just, being a promoter to actually being a creator and owner of something much bigger, that's a huge leap, but it makes total sense for long-term stability and massive growth. What kind of risks are involved when you start to diversify into, say, new niches or your own products?
Of course, there are risks. New niches mean new learning curves, potentially new competition. Creating your own product, that's a whole new ballgame. Requires development, customer support, marketing from scratch. But the key is to mitigate those risks by leveraging what you've learned. Start small in a new niche, test the waters. When developing a product, validate the idea thoroughly before you invest heavily. It's calculated risk, Emma, not blind leaps of faith.
Okay, so for someone listening who's feeling a bit stuck or, they're doing okay, but they're ready to go big, what are the top 3 actionable things they can do, starting today, to move towards scaling their affiliate business, James?
Right, brilliant. So 3 actionable steps. First, audit your tracking. Seriously, right now. Ensure you have clear, accurate data on every click, every conversion, every penny spent and earned. If you don't have it, set up something like Volume or RedTrack or even Google Analytics goals properly. Without reliable data, scaling is just guesswork. Second, identify one repetitive task in your business that takes up significant time, and then find a tool or a freelancer to automate or delegate it. Even if it's just, scheduling social media posts or resizing images, free up that precious time immediately. And third point, plan your next traffic source diversification. If you're reliant on one, explore another. Start small, test the waters, but make a deliberate plan to build out a new channel. Don't wait until your current one dries up or gets shut down, because it will eventually. Proactivity is key to sustainable scale.
Those are super solid practical steps. I think the tracking one is probably the most overlooked, but it's like so foundational, right? You can't even tell if you're actually scaling if you don't know your numbers.
Precisely, and honestly, Emma, it's not a one-time thing. Scaling is a continuous process of optimization, testing, and adapting. But with these core principles, anyone can really build something substantial. Just got to keep at it, And don't be afraid to think bigger than just what you're doing right now.
Totally. Amazing insights, James, as always. Thanks for breaking down scaling so clearly.